So there you go. Not only do you know about the past 30 years of my songwriting career, now you know 43 places I've played. So you see how this works? You're catching up. But you know what? This happens every night. I get excited when there's a room full of people that are actually listening to me. And I get carried away and I get ahead of myself. So if you would, I want to take a step back. I need to talk about probably the most important part of my story. And in order for y'all to really get it, I need to take you on a trip. So I hope you, if you would, just for a minute, kind of take a deep breath and let your mind go limp and take a little trip with me here. I want to take you back. First of all, I want to take you back in time. I want to go back to the late 1940s. And I want to take you back to Oklahoma, to a little place called the Anadarko Valley. The Anadarko Valley. And if you look around, when we get there to the Anadarko Valley, you look around and you're going to see that there's a big fire built in the middle of the meadow there. And you're going to notice that there's a bunch of beautifully dressed Native American Indian girls dancing around this fire. And you're going to realize that you're very lucky because this is kind of a sacred ceremony. Only the ladies are allowed to dance on this night, and they dress up in their most beautiful outfits, and people come from all over the country to see this, so you're lucky to be there. And if you notice, maybe, if you look back in the shadows, you might see an old farm boy who's come to see this thing, and he's pulled up under a tree and he's climbed up on the fender of his old pickup truck. He's got his white t-shirt on with the cigarettes rolled up in the sleeve, and he's got black wavy hair. And he catches the eye of one of these dancers. This is a Choctaw Indian gal. And every time she came around on this side of the fire, she could see him looking at her. Through the rising smoke and the embers, she could see him out there on the fender of his pickup. Now he was born a farmer, and she was born a queen. And she was a charmer, and he was just a little bit green. And with nothing in common and nothing to do, they came together from out of the blue. Sweet dreams, they do come true. So he brought her presents, and she felt his desires, and she found him pleasant. Oh, so she set him on fire. They were looking for something that they could call true, both waiting for someone who was way overdue. Now sweet dreams, yes they do come true. So he left the country and she left her throne. They were feeling so young and alive. Now he made all the money while she made the home, and in no time a little baby arrived. My mother, she's still that queen, and she's still a charmer, and he's still just a little bit green. And it's nothing uncommon, oh, it ain't nothing new, how they came together. It could happen to you. 'Cause sweet dreams, they do. Yeah, sweet dreams, they still do. Oh, sweet dreams, yes they do come true. Thank you. Now, see there, now you know my mom and dad. See how this is working? It's so easy. That old farm boy sitting on the pickup fender out there watching those Native American Indian gals dance, that was my dad. That's Vernon Thompson. Don Vernon. He was born and raised out in the western part of Oklahoma, where it's flat as a tabletop, and the wind blows, and you know, they got a lot of old farming and ranching and just good hard working folks. And then that Choctaw Indian gal dancing around in the circle there, that's my mom. That was Darwita. Now, her name, it's interesting, her name is spelled D-A-R-W-E-T-T-I-A. The Choctaw would pronounce it Dawetcha. Of course, those Oklahoma hillbillies turned it into Darwita. So she's known as Darwita, and actually it's gotten worse lately, because not long ago I was walking down the sidewalk with her, and one of the old local boys, you know, tipped his hat and he said, "Hey, Weeder, how's old Don doing?" I looked at my mom and I said, Did he just call you Weeder? She said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "I don't know. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to call you Mom, you know." But I wish it could go back to the original Dawetcha. I just think that's such a beautiful sounding name. And you know, it wasn't long ago when my buddy Guy Clark that I was talking about earlier, we were traveling to a show, and one of the rules of traveling together is that the guy in the passenger seat is allowed to moan and complain and bitch as much as he wants, and the guy driving has to listen. It's kind of like being married in some ways, you know. So I was in the passenger seat and I was getting my money's worth. I was complaining about everything, and old guy was just driving, just listening. And I said, and another thing, Guy, I've run out of ideas for songs. I said, all the good ideas have been taken. It's all been said before. I've hit the wall. I don't have a good idea to my name. I don't know what I'm going to do. The guy's driving. He said, "Verlon, write a song about your mama." He said, "Everybody knows you won't get into heaven if you don't write a song about your mama."